Welcome back to our channel History Coins HD. As you that old is gold, but these rare $quarter coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1 today, we're diving into a story that could change how you look at the change in your pocket forever. It's the tale of one of the most fascinating and mysterious coins in American history, the rare and highly sought-after 1965 Washington quarter. At first glance, it may seem like just another everyday coin, but this seemingly ordinary quarter has a secret that could make it worth a small fortune. Now, before you toss that old pocket change back into the jar, you'll want to watch this video all the way through. Because hidden among the billions of regular quarters minted that year, a very small number were struck in a way that makes them extraordinarily rare and unbelievably valuable. Let's rewind a bit to understand why the 1965 Washington quarter stands out. In 1965, the United States Mint made a major change. Up until 1964, quarters were made of 90% silver. But due to rising silver prices and a coin shortage, the mint made the decision to remove silver from dimes and quarters starting in 1965, switching to a clad composition of copper sandwiched between two layers of nickel. That decision marked the end of the silver era in circulating U.S. coins. However, in the midst of this massive transition, something unexpected happened. A small number of 1,965 quarters were mistakenly struck on the silver planchets that were supposed to be phased out the year before. These are what collectors call transitional error coins, and they're some of the most exciting discoveries in modern numismatics. So how do you know if you have one of these rare silver 1965 Washington quarters? First, check the edge of the coin. A standard clad quarter from 1965 will show a copper-colored core along the edge. But if your coin shows a solid silver color all the way through, you might be holding something special. Next, consider the weight. A normal 1965 clad quarter weighs about 5.67 grams, while a silver quarter weighs closer to 6.25 grams. That slight difference can be the key to identifying a valuable error coin. Now here's where things get really exciting. These silver 1965 quarters are so rare that most collectors and even coin dealers have never seen one in person. Only a handful have been authenticated by professional grading services, making them extremely desirable to collectors and investors alike. These coins are more than just metal, they're pieces of history. They represent a moment of change, a rare mistake during a massive transition in U.S. coinage. Owning one is like holding a slice of numismatic mystery in your hand. Because of their rarity and high demand, these transitional error quarters have fetched jaw-dropping prices at auctions. And we're not talking a few hundred or even a few $1,000s. No, the value of a genuine 1965 silver Washington quarter in pristine condition has reached truly unbelievable heights. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for. If you were lucky enough to find one of these incredibly rare silver 1965 Washington quarters, and it's in exceptional condition, it could be worth anywhere between $80,000 to $105,000. That's right, $80,000 to $105,000 for a single quarter. So, the next time you're going through your change, don't be too quick to spend it. That old quarter could be your golden, or rather, silver, ticket to a serious payday. Make sure to check the edge, weigh it if you can, and consider getting it evaluated by a professional grading service if you suspect you've got something special. Top 2, where today's story is all about one of the most surprising discoveries in American coin collecting, the elusive and incredibly valuable 1981 P Washington quarter. At first glance, it's easy to overlook this coin. After all, the Washington quarter has been around since 1932, and millions of them are struck every year. The 1981 P doesn't look particularly special. It doesn't mark a major anniversary, and it isn't a silver coin from a bygone era. But hold on, because this seemingly ordinary quarter might be one of the rarest pieces of modern American coinage, and its value could completely blow your mind. Let's start with a bit of background. In 1981, the U.S. Mint was producing billions of coins to meet the demands of a growing economy. The Philadelphia Mint, designated by the P Mint mark, struck a massive number of Washington quarters that year. Most of these coins went straight into circulation and saw heavy use in daily transactions. And for the vast majority of them, that's where the story ends. But every once in a while, something unusual happens at the mint, something that slips through the cracks, unnoticed. In the case of the 1981 P Washington quarter, there are whispers among collectors and experts about a small number of coins that were struck under extraordinary, error-filled conditions. These could include overstrikes, doubled dies, off-metal errors, or even extremely sharp, proof-like strikes made on planchets never meant for circulation. Now here's what makes this coin so fascinating: most 1981p quarters are worth face value, maybe a little more in uncirculated condition. But under the right circumstances, with the right error, the right condition, and the right timing, a specific 1981p Washington quarter has been known to sell for an absolutely stunning amount. Before we get into the jaw-dropping price, let's talk about what you should be looking for first. Condition is everything. A coin in pristine, uncirculated condition, what collectors call mint state, is already ahead of the pack. Look for coins with no scratches, no signs of wear, and original luster that reflects light brilliantly. You'll also want to pay attention to the details: clear strike lines, crisp lettering, and a clean edge. Second, watch out for errors. Some of the most valuable 1981p quarters show signs of striking mistakes, things like doubling on the date or lettering, off-center designs, or even coins struck on the wrong metal planchets. These are incredibly rare and almost never make it into circulation, but when they do, they become the crown jewels of any coin collection. Third, certification matters. If you think you've got a valuable coin on your hands, the next step is getting it authenticated and graded by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. These organizations can confirm the coin's legitimacy and assign a grade that heavily influences its market value. So, what's all the excitement about? Why are collectors willing to pay so much for a single quarter from 1981? Because in the right condition and with the right error, the 1981p Washington quarter transforms from pocket change into a collectible worth a small fortune. Collectors are always on the hunt for these hidden gems, and demand for ultra-rare modern coins has never been higher. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for: if you're lucky enough to come across one of these rare and flawless 1981p Washington quarters, especially with a significant error or in top-tier mint state condition, its value could skyrocket to somewhere between $70,000 to $90,000. Yes, you heard that right, $70,000 to $90,000. For a single quarter that might be hiding in a coin jar or tucked away in an old drawer. So next time you get change at the store or go through a roll of quarters, take a closer look. The 1981p Washington quarter might not look like much, but it could be your ticket to an unexpected windfall. Top 3 where one of the most unexpected gems might just be hiding in plain sight. That's right, we're talking about a coin that millions of people have seen, used, and probably never gave a second thought to: the 1990p Washington quarter. And now, before you rush to empty your piggy banks and check every quarter you've ever collected, stick around, because what we're about to share could surprise you. Among the billions of Washington quarters minted over the years, there exists a small group of rare coins that, due to their condition or a unique minting error, are worth far more than their face value. And yes, the 1990p quarter is one of those surprising cases. Let's take a step back for a moment and look at the bigger picture. By 1990, the Washington quarter had already been in circulation for nearly 6 decades. Originally introduced in 1932 to honor George Washington's 200th birthday, the design became a mainstay of American coinage. The 1990p quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, denoted by the small P mint mark just beside the ponytail of George Washington. That year, hundreds of millions of these coins were produced and quickly entered circulation. So why, out of all those coins, is one particular version of the 1990p Washington quarter drawing the attention of collectors and investors alike? The answer lies in rarity and condition, and sometimes, in minting mistakes. While most of these quarters were used for everyday transactions, a few somehow avoided the usual wear and tear. These rare coins remained untouched, uncirculated, and preserved in near-perfect condition. Add in a possible mint error, and suddenly, a common coin turns into a collector's dream. Imagine this: a quarter that looks just like every other quarter in your change jar, but with one subtle mistake during production: an off-center strike, a missing clad layer, or even a double die. These errors are extremely rare, especially when combined with high-grade condition. That's why collectors pay big money for them. What makes this coin even more intriguing is how easy it is to overlook. The 1990p Washington quarter blends right in with your average pocket change. But if you know what to look for, it could be a hidden treasure. Here's what you should pay close attention to first: the edge of the coin. Most modern quarters have a visible copper core sandwiched between 2 nickel layers. If your quarter appears to be a solid silver color with no copper showing, it might be a planchet error or struck on the wrong type of metal. Next, inspect the coin's weight. A typical 1990 quarter should weigh around 5.67 grams. If your coin is lighter or heavier, it might indicate something went wrong at the mint. Then, examine the details. Look closely at the date, lettering, and the word Liberty. Any doubling or distortions could point to a rare minting anomaly known as a double die, highly prized among collectors. Lastly, condition matters more than anything. A coin that's been preserved in mint state condition, free from scratches or signs of circulation, is always worth more. Coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC often fetch the highest prices because they've been authenticated and certified. Now, here's where things get really exciting. While most 1990p quarters are worth only their face value, the right combination of condition, rarity, and minting error can skyrocket their value to unbelievable heights. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. If you're fortunate enough to discover one of these ultra-rare 1990p Washington quarters, especially one that's in mint state with a known error or unique strike, it could be worth anywhere from $65,000 to $85,000. That's right, $65,000 to $85,000 for a single quarter that may be sitting quietly in a collection, a coin jar, or your pocket right now. So, what are you waiting for? Start checking those quarters. That small, unassuming 1990p Washington quarter might just be your ticket to an unexpected windfall. And if you think you found something special, don't hesitate to get it examined by a professional. You could be holding onto a coin that's worth more than a brand new car, or even more than some homes. Top 4, we're spotlighting a coin that millions have touched, spent, and likely never thought twice about, the 1971p Washington quarter. And now, before you go thinking it's just another old coin, let me stop you right there. Because hidden among the countless quarters minted in the early 70s, there's a rare version of the 1971p that has stunned collectors and sparked intense interest across the numismatic world. And today, you're going to find out why this coin could be worth a fortune. The 1971p Washington quarter was minted in Philadelphia, as shown by the tiny P mint mark, or in this case, the lack of one, since Philadelphia didn't start using a mint mark on quarters until 1980. That's right, if your 1971 quarter has no letter under the date, it came from the Philadelphia Mint. Now, here's where things get exciting. Most people don't think of coins from the 1970s as rare or valuable. After all, they're made of copper nickel, not silver, and they're not that old, at least not compared to coins from the 1800s. But here's the twist, certain 1971p quarters are anything but ordinary. You see, in every batch of coins minted, there's always a chance for something to go wrong, just slightly. And in the world of coin collecting, those mistakes are pure gold. We're talking about double die strikes, off-metal errors, coins struck on leftover silver planchets, or even a few coins that were given unusually sharp detail due to being struck with fresh dies. Collectors go absolutely crazy for these types of errors, especially when they show up on coins that were never expected to be rare. And the 1971p Washington quarter is a perfect example. So what should you be looking for? First, examine the design closely. If you spot any doubling on the date, lettering, or on George Washington's eye or hairline, you could be looking at a double die error. These are among the most popular and valuable types of mint mistakes. Next, weigh the coin. The standard 1971 quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams. But there have been rumors and reports of a very limited number of 1,971 quarters struck on leftover silver planchets. Those should weigh about 6.25 grams. If you find one of these, get ready, because you've hit the jackpot. Also, look out for coins with missing clad layers, unusual coloring, or a completely off-center strike. These features instantly elevate a coin's rarity and value, and of course, condition is everything. A 1971p quarter found in circulated condition might still be interesting, but one found in pristine, uncirculated, mint state condition is a whole different story. These coins show no signs of wear, full detail in the design, and often retain their original mint luster. Those are the coins collectors fight over. And now here's the part that gets everyone talking. Most 1971p quarters are worth just 25 cents. But the rarest versions, the ones with minting errors, in flawless condition, or struck on the wrong metal, have sold for jaw-dropping amounts at coin shows and auctions. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, if you were lucky enough to find one of these extremely rare 1971p Washington quarters, especially in mint state with a significant error or silver planchet strike, its value could soar anywhere between $75,000 to $100,000. Yes, you heard that right. $75,000 to $100,000 for a coin you might already have sitting in a drawer or hidden away in an old coin jar. This is why it pays, literally, to look closely at your change. A coin that seems ordinary on the surface might be carrying a rare history, a unique flaw, or an extraordinary story that collectors are willing to pay big bucks to own. Top 5 where loose change isn't just spare money, it's potential treasure. If you've ever looked at an old coin and wondered whether it might be worth more than it seems, you're in the right place. Because today, we're shining the spotlight on a very surprising and extremely valuable modern coin, the 1995 P Washington quarter. Now, I know what you might be thinking, 1995 isn't that long ago, right? Most people assume a coin needs to be ancient, silver, or incredibly rare to be worth anything significant. But what if I told you that one specific version of the 1995 P Washington quarter could be worth a small fortune? That's right. A coin minted just a few decades ago, still showing up in circulation today, has become the stuff of legend among collectors. Let's dive into the story. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932. By 1995, it was still going strong, with millions of coins being struck at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. The P mint mark stands for Philadelphia, and the majority of those coins ended up in pockets, cash registers, and coin jars across the country. Nothing unusual, right? Well, not quite. Among the countless 1995 P quarters that passed through hands without a second glance, a very small number were minted with something extraordinary, something that makes them rare, collectible, and unbelievably valuable today. We're talking about mint errors, striking anomalies, and coins in such pristine condition that they stand out like diamonds in the rough. And when you combine rarity with condition and collector demand, that's when you get a coin that's worth far, far more than face value. So, what makes the 1995 P quarter so special? First, let's talk about error coins. Mint errors are a fascinating area of numismatics, and some of the most valuable coins in history owe their fame to a simple mistake. In the case of the 1995 P quarter, collectors have reported examples with dramatic double die outbursts, meaning the design on the front of the coin was struck twice, creating a bold and visible doubling of the date or lettering. Others may have been struck slightly off-center or on the wrong planchet entirely, possibly a blank intended for another coin denomination. These errors are incredibly rare, and spotting one is like hitting the jackpot. Then, there's the condition factor. A coin that has never been used, touched, or scratched is considered mint state, and when graded by professionals and given a high score like MS67, MS68, or higher, its value can skyrocket. That's because collectors know how hard it is to find coins in perfect shape after decades of circulation. Now, here's where things really heat up. While the average 1995 P quarter is still worth 25 cents, there are a few extraordinary specimens out there, coins with rare minting errors, in exceptional uncirculated condition, or both, that have stunned collectors with their value. These are the coins that get sent to top grading services like PCGS or NGC, authenticated, encapsulated, and then listed at high-end auctions or acquired by serious collectors. So, if you're someone who checks their change, or maybe you've got an old coin collection tucked away somewhere, it's time to take a second look at any 1995 quarters you find. Pay attention to the details, check for doubling in the design, look at the edge for unusual colors, and if the coin seems flawless, consider having it graded. You might be holding onto something far more valuable than you ever imagined. And now for the part you've all been waiting for. If you're fortunate enough to discover a rare 1995 P Washington quarter in gem uncirculated condition, especially one featuring a known mint error like a double die or off metal strike, that coin could be worth anywhere from $60,000 to $80,000. Yes, you heard it right, $60,000 to $80,000 for a single quarter minted in the mid-1990s. It's proof that you don't have to be digging for gold to find real treasure. Sometimes, it's right there in your pocket. So, keep your eyes open and your change close. Because the next valuable find might be hiding in your coin jar, waiting for someone like you to uncover its true worth. If you found this video helpful or just fascinating, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more coin secrets, and tap that notification bell so you never miss a new discovery. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy hunting!